Good evening. It's 8:30. It's Monday night. It's the North Bank Summit, and I've got my two wonderful co-hosts with me tonight. So let's pass over to Johnny Brooks. How you doing, mate? How's your weekend been?
You always do that when I'm eating.
I might have to sack you.
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah, and it's dark and miserable outside, but raining all day, getting soaking wet, living the posty dream life. But yeah, they're all good. Yeah, can't complain. Still 4 points clear at the top, so it's what it is.
Exactly that. And good evening to Andy. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good. And evening, chaps, and anybody else that's out there. Yeah, all good at the northeast. Bit like what John said, it's tipping down at the moment, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's not great out there, is it? Even I've decided not to brave it tonight. Come inside. I'm in the office tonight, so yeah, nice and warm. But let's do some good evenings before we start. Good evening to Andrew. Good to see you all, mate. Good evening to Luke. Good to see you out on Saturday night, mate, as well. Very good evening. Good evening to Laura. Good to see you on. Good evening, Laura. Good evening to Jason. He's in the house.
Hey, mate.
G's in the house. Good evening, G. Absolutely. You on Saturday. Coming to London. Absolutely brilliant night. Good evening to Ryan, who's on the show. I just want to say I blame it on Liam partying for Arsenal. Had to draw. Had to have his brother in the bar celebrating like a Liverpool fan all night. How's that surprising whatsoever?
Oof.
Yeah, the less we talk about that one, Jason, the better. It's Backstreet Boy Liam. We'll leave that one.
Maybe should be
good evening to Margaret. No, you're not late. You're on time, Margaret.
Margaret, you're on time.
Yeah. So obviously Saturday, as Ryan said, I was out and about. And I ain't gonna lie, I was pretty smashed by the time the Arsenal game kicked off.
I see that video earlier of you. It's like Josie's dancing, and you're just in the background with a drink in your hand. Just
mate, I'll be honest with you, I was absolutely battered by the game. But what we did, Manchester United decided he wanted to talk to me for the whole first half, just about football, and I'm like, mate, I'm trying to watch a game of football here. But like, yeah, not the best thing, but it was what it was. It was a good night overall, but obviously there is the game, which is the most important part. Went to Sunderland, 5:30. I don't know why. I knew this was going to be a bogey game. I felt it all week. 5:30 up there. Let's be honest, they were up for this game. Then they got the league leaders turning up in town. All their fans have been on the piss, and they put on. Let's be honest, they put on a really, really good performance. I thought Sunderland. I thought they were probably the most adventurous team, I'd say, to play us this season. Absolutely turned up. I thought their supporters turned up. And do you know what? I'm going to be totally honest with you before we start on discussing this. It's a bit devastating now. We conceded the last goal, but for me, I don't actually think it's a bad point overall. I think you're always going to get a game like this throughout the seasons. We had it in the Invincible season when Leicester scored a 93rd minute equaliser against us at Filbert Street that time. That didn't stop us from doing what we needed to do. Do you know what I mean? I just feel it was one of them games where, even though our second half performance I thought was really, really good. I thought it was one of the best performances I've seen that second half for a long, long time. I thought we was in control. We was on the front foot. We was adventurous. But the problem was we never got that third goal. Do you know what I mean? And when you don't get that third goal, you're vulnerable that you can concede a goal down the other end. And look, they were brave. They took their opportunity, and fair play to them. 2-2. Like, do I see many clubs going there and just turning them over? Probably not. I think they've proven this season what a good outfit they are. They went to Chelsea and beat Chelsea on their own patch. Like, this is a really, really, really good Sunderland team. And I know it's surprising because they've come up through the playoffs, but they've recruited superbly well. And when you've got Granit Xhaka as your captain, you know what that dressing room is going to be like. You know he's going to be demanding the very best of them. Yeah, he got stuck in amongst it, but I don't really know why our fans are crying about him. Like, he's not playing for Arsenal anymore. He's playing for Sunderland. Do you know what I mean? I'd be more disappointed if he didn't do that, if I was being frankly honest here. Like, it is what it is. It's a point dropped, but we're 4 points clear going into the break. I don't think it's too bad overall. So I'm going to go to you, Andy, first on it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. God's truth. If it's the age-old objective that if we'd have said at the start of the season, this is where we'd be going into this break in November, we'd have snapped everybody's hands off. The reality is, though, I don't know that the weekend, I was a little bit more disappointed, I think, than maybe yourself, but because I was appalled by the first half. I thought it was, I mean, it was just abysmal, and ultimately, and we know how these guys prepare for matches. They know what's going. They know the opposition inside out. So we're going to go to Sunderland. It's under the lights. People are drinking, so the atmosphere is going to be pretty special up there. You know that the way Sunderland play, it's in your faces. The long throw-ins, they'll hurl it in your box. And I don't know. I was a bit disappointed by the first half. I just don't. I don't think we matched them in any way, shape, or form. And I think the flip side of that, though, is this might turn out to be the best thing ever, because I've got no doubt they got a bollocking at half time. As much as Arteta smoothed it over afterwards, he'd have ripped into them because we didn't win a tackle. We didn't win any second balls. We were continually giving away silly free kicks. We were just allowing Sunderland to dictate how the game was going to pan out. They were never going to be, wanting the ball in play and being quite expansive. They showed about how they narrowed the pitch. So we knew we knew all of these things. But it might turn out to be the best thing ever, because they'll remember how that felt going into that game, and because it wasn't just one or two players that weren't at it. It was the whole team, the whole 11. And it's not very often you can say that about our 11, but the whole 11 weren't at it. So that whatever happened at half time was I don't know, groundbreaking almost, hopefully. By the way, we're hoping our season's going to pan out, because the team that came out second half was unrecognisable. We were superb. We started winning tackles. All of a sudden, there was a bit of nastiness about us as well. And, and it was great to see that reaction. So let's hope that we can just maybe kick on from that one a little bit. But I think going back to just the one note on Granit Xhaka, because I loved Xhaka when he was playing for us. But I thought, standing over Mourinho screaming at him on the floor, I just thought, you come across as a bit of an arsehole there. He's an ex-teammate. There's no need to be doing all that. Playing up to all the Macans, because I know what they're like up here, the flipping lunatics. But so I was a bit disappointed with Xhaka in that moment. But aside from that, he was brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think he probably behaves any different than he was at when he was with us. But I think the problem is there's always been that issue, isn't there, with Xhaka and part of our fan base. So you just know that a lot of people are going to jump on that in terms of obviously the situation that happens. But
you don't stand over your teammate, Liam. You don't stand over an ex-teammate and berate.
That's not an ex-teammate of his, though, is it, Mikel Merino?
Oh, did he? Was he not there for some of that?
Nah, he wasn't there, mate.
Oh, was he not?
No,
right.
Because I'll be honest, it was the first thing I looked at to see who was on the floor. But no, Mikel Merino weren't there. But
right, okay.
Yeah. But with that aside, John, obviously, like Andy said, poor first half. Does the fixture list play a part as well? Like, we were away at Burnley last weekend, then the guys had to fly out to Prague. Well, if we're being totally honest with you, Mikel didn't make that many changes. So he pretty much paid his pack to make sure that he wins the game in Prague. So obviously ensure that we're at the top end of the table, because come January, that might be an important win. But do we think that fatigue plays a part as well? Like, you're travelling back, you get back to London, and then you're going all the way back up to Sunderland. It's a heavy schedule, isn't it? And like, when you think about it, like, the goal comes in the 93rd, 94th minute. Is there a lot of bit of tiredness after that week?
Yeah, I mean, possibly. And obviously the strength of the bench on Saturday, we've done remarkably well to be where we are. When you consider how many players, we've got 6 attackers, about 3 or 4 of them are probably first team and starters. And, the bench, was very light on attacking options. I mean, yeah, they looked like they ran out of puff. But then the second half we played really, really well. And the first half they looked quite leggy, and then they seemed to wake up a bit. So it was a funny one. I mean, another disappointment was I'm just disappointed they only put a couple of quid on Xhaka to get booked. I wish I chucked a bit more on it. But it's just those things. I mean, second half we did play very well. I mean, as much as everyone's going, Sunderland deserved, we did actually create a lot of chances in the second half, especially. And it was good to see attacking wise. We did actually, considering who was on the pitch and who wasn't playing. Again, Trossard, that goal he scored, he's just stepped up so much. I've never been more happy to eat humble pie because he's been a revelation the last month, to be quite frank. He's been absolutely outstanding. I looked at his stats. I mean, he's got 4 goals, 4 assists. And it, compared to last season, he's just been superb. Really, really superb. Rice and Zubimendi worked really hard. Saka scored a good goal. Marino put in a shift. Again, we're in a situation where we're playing him up front because there's no one else. So, yeah, it is what it is, Like I said, it's very exciting when you see who's training and coming back. So, yeah, it's nice to have a little rest now. Players can have their rest. Fingers crossed no one else gets injured. But it's exciting looking forward because we know who's coming back and who we're going to thrash in the next game. So, it's,
Andrew just said exactly some fans crying over Xhaka. He's a Sunderland captain. He played badly. They'd slate him for that.
No, I can care less. He doesn't play for us anymore. Okay.
Mr. Arsenal podcast saying 10 points out of 12 ain't the worst return.
Absolutely. You look how hard it is in the league. Look how hard that league is. It's ridiculous. Bournemouth, everyone was, getting well excited over Bournemouth. Look how quickly they've fallen off a cliff. Liverpool are 8th place, Liverpool. Dog shit. They should be concentrating on them, not worrying about us. They're 8th place. They spent £400 million. Florian Wirtz, what a flop. £150 million. Are
we writing him off already, John?
Well, it's dog shit. Oh, sorry. I mean, I felt sorry for him yesterday. I did. Because you could see he was trying, bless him. But he was on the wing and none of the other Liverpool players looked like they were really helping him. And everything he was doing just wasn't working. But he hasn't scored a goal or done an assist in the Premier League yet. I'm sorry, £150 million. Poor old Victor is getting crucified. And he's scoring goals, assists and working his arse off. And he's the one getting the pelters. Please tell me. Fair's fair. Isak as well when he's injured again. But yeah, another one. Even Ekatike, he spent £80 million, didn't he? He scored, a couple of goals, got sent off. Salah got the money and said, I'm going to do shit all now. It's great to see that. I don't want to get so annoyed about it. But yeah, they're really going downhill, mate.
Yeah, but I think it's a good point raised by Ryan, like 10 points out of 12. Do you know what I mean? Like, Nancy only actually got 9 points out of 12. It does make me chuckle a little bit. Like, come on, like, Man City did get a good win yesterday. I personally expected Man City to win yesterday. I just think they're in a totally different stage than what Liverpool are at the moment, if I'm being frankly on the show. I don't really paint the picture over the Real Madrid win. I watched the game. I just think Real Madrid
were dreadful.
Yeah, but I think it was a gloss victory, that if I'm being totally on the show. But I look at it and it, like, we dropped 2 points and then the world's about to fall apart. Arsenal going to bottle it. Arsenal going to do this. Arsenal going to do that. But actually, in this international to international period, Arsenal picked up the most points again out of Arsenal, Manchester City, and Liverpool. Okay, and this is the piece, right? That actually, when something negative happens at Arsenal, we know there's a quota of our fan base that jump on it for their own agenda. But I just find just everywhere there's such an overreaction, like just seeing all these clips about Arsenal now breakable and all that kind of stuff. They've shown weakness and everything. No, they haven't shown weakness whatsoever. Like, no team in the world can go 9, 10, 15 games without conceding goals. Well, we're in probably the best competitive league in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like, to do what they've done over 8 games, I think is quite outstanding as it is. Instead of like congratulating it, it's just jump on Arsenal. let's jump on that. They've conceded 2 goals at Sunderland. I'm very much in the camp here, right? That actually, right, that is a grueling week they had this week, whether people like it or not. Do you know what I mean? They've had to travel all the way over, and like, yeah, they are. We expect it because we're at the top end of the table, but to have 3 games in a week and they're all the way from home, it's got an hard ask. I don't care what anyone says. And then you're travelling all the way up to Sunderland and back. Do you know what I mean? So, do you know what? Yeah, the performance wasn't up to the standard in the first half. Totally agree with you, Andy, that they were second best all over the pitch. But do you know what? I think it might be a little blessing in disguise because actually, them players got to go away and think about that all the way through the international break. And there's no better place than that Sunday in 2 weeks' time against Tottenham at the Emirates. There's probably not a better time than that result could have happened, because actually I think they'll be chomping at the piece in terms of making wrongs right. And I didn't see much wrong with the second half performance. First half definitely, but second half, do you know what? I thought we was absolutely superb second half. I honestly thought we were superb apart from that goal. And I've got to take my hats off and put the old humble pie cap on as well with Trossard. I've slated him loads of times, said he's just an impact player. But what he's done, right, in the last month has totally changed my perception of him. Do you know what I mean? He's become our go-to player in a lot of ways. And I say that in the most respectful way possible. The guy has delivered assists. The guy has delivered winning goals. Nearly had a winning goal on Saturday as well, away from home again. Like, I just think that actually he's been the highlight of the season as such for a player that actually we all thought potentially could be out the door in the summer. So I'm interested in your views on it, Andy, because I think the last month he's been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And God, we've all sung the praises of an amazing summer, and kind of going into the season now, he's probably been one of the shining lights as well. You know, he's just been phenomenal. Kind of, I was exactly the same as you two. I was very much in that camp of Martinelli and Trossard will only be very, very good impact players for us. But yeah, I'm really happy to be stood corrected by that, because he's been phenomenal, because he's never hidden. Even on Saturday when the first half wasn't good, he's more than happy to receive the ball in any situation. Doesn't matter who's up against him, and he's a brave little bugger as well. To receive balls in them situations and players are coming flying in at him, he's exceptional, and arguably he's our best finisher. No,
he certainly is.
Right.
I think he's given.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what the interesting thing is. Odegaard comes back. I thought Eze was a shoo-in to start on that left, but that's not the case now, is it, Andy?
No, not at all. You know, Eze is a separate conversation, I think, to be had anyway. But ultimately, absolutely. But we all thought, great, Odegaard will in the middle, Eze will come in off the left. What an attacking options we got going forward here now, and then we'll chuck on Trossard, chuck on Martinelli as, you know, as a bit of an impact if we're chasing a game or whatever. God, we all have to stand corrected, because at the moment, on form, there's only one player out of the two of them that's really performing at the moment, and that's Trossard. And if you'd have told me that was going to be the situation a few months ago, I'd never have believed you.
And in the Palace game, even though Eze scored, it was Trossard, especially second half, who was our best player. He was very, very good in the second half, keeping the ball, going forward, very skillful. He was excellent.
Yeah,
and he's full of confidence about it. I mean, that goal, incredible goal. I mean, I don't think he's been given enough credit that deserves. Sadly, if we had one, it probably would have done. But if Saka had scored that, or Salah maybe, or Haaland, everyone would be going absolutely mental about it.
Yeah.
But what a goal. That was stunning.
It was class.
Absolutely stunning.
But what was class about it as well was the fact that there was no backlift. And yet the ball rifled into the top corner.
It's only, it's quite a tiny little fella. He's bang, see you later.
Yeah. Superb.
No, I totally agree. I think he's definitely added a different option, and I think it's a luxury for Mikel to have at the moment, because actually I think what we do know about Trossard is that he's probably our best. Well, I say probably. I think it's official. He's our best finisher at the club. I think we've always known that. The problem with Trossard at times, he flatters to deceive. Do you know what I mean? But I think this left wing position, he's actually found his own this season in there. Now, flipping it to the other side with the Eze conversation, I have got a lot of sympathy for Eze, if I'm being totally honest, because I don't think, it's actually an easy team to come into. Because, as I said, when Eze come in, like potentially, he's going to be used to a total different style of football that opponents play against us to what they would play against Crystal Palace last year. Do you know what I mean? And he would get a lot more space last year. He'd get a lot more space in adventurous areas, and he'll play exactly to his position. I still don't believe, he's playing it actually to his position. I think that he's actually deputising for Martin Odegaard, and he's having to play a bit of a restricted role to play in that role. Is that his best position? In my eyes, no. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that really he's over that left-hand side that he needs to be. And I do think that potentially that left wing role he will eventually get that role. But I do feel a bit sorry for him, because I think the problem is with someone like Eze, we expect big things out of Eze because of the way his season finished at Palace last year. He was on dynamite for them, weren't he? He scored the winner in the FA Cup final. I think he was massively part of the quarterfinal, semi-final as well, in terms of obviously game changing. So we know he can do it. I just feel at the moment that I just don't feel that he's totally comfortable at present. And I think in that kind of game at Sunderland, I think we actually missed Martin Odegaard, especially in the latter part of that game. I was sitting there thinking to myself, if Martin Odegaard had come on for Eze in that game, like we've seen him done, like I think before he got injured, before he come on for the last 10, 15 minutes, he was absolutely superb. I think that's what we needed to come on. We needed someone to replace him and be able to keep the ball. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think we did that once Eze went off, but I'm not saying that we did that anyway, but I just feel that we needed that Odegaard kind of leadership and the way he can retain that ball in the last 5-10 minutes just to take the heat off us. And I do think we are missing Martin Odegaard. I do think we are missing him, because I actually think that Eze Saka link hasn't really clicked on, has it? Where we know the Odegaard makes Saka a much better player than what he is. Now, Saka had a good second half on Saturday, but I'm not saying I've been disappointed with Saka, but he's not at the level yet where we know he can perform. And I think a big aspect of that is because obviously he's got that relationship with Odegaard. And I do expect when Odegaard comes back in, I think Saka will click in set next gear. But I just feel that Eze's playing a bit of as I said, I feel like it's a restricted role, but it shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? But I feel it is because what Eze's used to. And I think he's come into a different kind of style of play where you've got a whole team playing low block. Do you know what I mean? So now it's having to make him think more. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to pass it out more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I ain't going to have as many moments where I can conjure up that brilliance. So when I do conjure it up, I've got to make sure that when I do it, I make something of it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm still to the fact that he'll turn out to be an incredible player for us. But I think there is a bit of adaptability period that I think he needs. And actually, Odegaard coming back in might give him a bit of a breather to come on in games and give him some more chance to impact games later in the game.
I think everything you say is absolutely bang on. I think from my perspective, I think my only frustration has been it was games like the Sunderland game where we spent that money to get him in because we knew we can do something a little bit different, and it didn't happen. But I do get the whole coming into a new club is tough. Now he's playing in different systems. I mean, one thing that was massively noticeable, even in the first half in particular, was that he was leading the press, which is something he's never had to do before as well. Yeah. You know, he's never had to do that at Palace. He'll close the nearest ball down, but that's pretty much it. But he was leading the press. So that in itself is, he's taken on more responsibility in that sense. So again, I've got no doubts at all that he's going to become absolutely superb for us. But I just think we just need to see it sooner rather than later. How long do we keep saying it's a new system, it's new this? And if we keep dropping daft little points, going down the line, who knows? We might come back after the international break and the Spurs game might be the one that just sets this whole season alight.
I think the Spurs game is an interesting one for him because of the background of Spurs and him, and obviously how he signed for Arsenal. I think that game is a game where actually he could potentially have that impact. Like he had it against Crystal Palace, which was quite. You knew it was kind of going to happen. Well, the Palace boys knew it was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I didn't think the performance was that great from Eze whatsoever. I thought he was one of the worst. If I'm being honest, and I will flip it the other side. I thought he was one of the worst players on the pitch up till he scored that goal against Crystal Palace. Kept giving the ball away. But I feel that he needs a big moment. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember a few years ago when Declan Rice had that big moment against Manchester United when we won 3-1 in the end when Jesus scored as well. And I felt that big moment just imploded Declan Rice to the next level. Yeah. And he was a total different player. Do you know what I mean? After that game, like he was a good player. He was a great player anyway, but he was a total different beast after that game. Like he had that moment. He felt it with that crowd. I feel Eze needs that moment. And this is the piece where I said to you the other week, I felt sorry for Eze against Crystal Palace. I felt sorry for Eze against Crystal Palace because his first goal at the Emirates and he couldn't celebrate it with the fans.
Yeah.
It was showing respect.
He could have done.
It was a funny situation, wasn't it? Because actually he's got that first moment. I want to celebrate my fans, but wait a minute. I can't do that because I've left the club that I've just won the FA Cup for and got absolute great memories for. So he needs a really, really big moment. And I feel when he gets that big moment, I feel that's when it's going to change for him. And I think it will become that bit where Declan Rice had that big moment and then bang. And I'm hoping that'll be the same for him. And look, there's no bigger game and no better game than Tottenham at 2 weeks' time. And I think he will start that game. I think he will start that game still because I think, obviously, if Odegaard does come back, I think he'll be on the bench, which would be the right thing to do because obviously one's fit and one's not been playing. But yeah, I know what a good player he is, and I know it's going to take a bit of time. And I totally agree with you, Andy. It's like when you're at the top of the Premier League, you need your players to click. You know what I mean? You need your players to do your big moments and all that kind of stuff. And we're quite lucky because we've got so many good players who can have big moments, like we see with Trossard the other day. Do you know what I mean? We've seen it with Martinelli, Gyökeres. Yeah, do you know what I mean? We're lucky we've got all them players, but he needs that moment.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and God, you can almost see it, can't you? Just cutting inside against Spurs, Meggs and Van der Ven sticking it through Romero's legs as well, doing a rainbow flick and then volleying it in the top corner. That'll be lovely in the first minute, and then that'll just be the kickstart. I think
number 5.
I think going back to the Declan one as well. I think Declan was quite lucky in as much as the Man U game was very early into the season as well, wasn't it? Whereas so he managed to get his goal. It kind of got him going. Maybe that little bit quicker, but as his moment will come, it's just been a little bit frustrating because we know how much he's capable of, and as of yet, we haven't seen it.
Here's the one I'm looking forward to, and I'll be telling you, I am looking forward to Kai Havertz coming back into the squad. Absolutely. That might get a few chuckles, but actually, I think there's a big role for Kai Havertz to play this year, especially in the rotation with Gyökeres in certain games. But I think there's going to be games when actually you'll see Havertz push up right alongside Gyökeres. What's your thoughts, John? Because actually, I think this guy. I honestly think in the big games as well, right? And I think it's gonna be too early, and it's a shame. I look at games like when you're going away to Chelsea and all that kind of stuff. He could be a big player in the big games, couldn't he?
I mean, I think he could well be back for that. I know, reading a few things today, it looks like Gyökeres will be back for Spurs. Martinelli, Madueke probably. Jesus looks like he is. Apparently, they penciled in a game behind closed doors during the international break, so I presume he'll play in that. Maybe a couple of the others. Odegaard possibly be on the bench. I reckon Havertz could be back the following week for Chelsea, which would be nice. I don't think he's far away, and he's back in training. But it'd be wonderful to have him back and all of them back. The classic of like a new signing, but Havertz is such an intelligent player, a very popular player as well, which does help. Odegaard enjoys playing with him. He's a great player. He's a great football mind. He's a great footballer. I mean, it'd be wonderful to have him back. He can play anywhere in midfield. He'd go in the wing if he had to, would be the best. And I find he'd cause problems. He's just a big, he's a very powerful player. He knows where the goal is, scores good goals. Great with his feet. Oh yeah, I'm so excited to have everybody back. I can't tell you. I mean, people going, "Oh, Arsenal, blah blah blah." I'll be very, very worried if I was everyone else because we're 4 points clear and we've got all this firepower coming back. You know, I say, they're winning 1-0, they're doing this.
It's just
goals are coming now, I'll tell you. The goals are going to come in. We could start battering teams, you know.
Yeah.
He could be 2-3-0 up and he could take the players off. Imagine that, taking Saka and Trossard off, putting on Martinelli, big on Leze, if Odegaard's playing. Havertz to come on, Madueke. Oh, mate, come on.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting.
It is absolutely.
Very exciting.
Yeah, massively. You just got to hope, and we all
just... last season, you know. And Marino as well, him to come on as well. He did all right Saturday. And again, he scored 2 goals in the week, bless him. He's another wonderful player. Again, you know, like Havertz, it's just brilliant. It's a score. It knows what a goal is. He'll probably go away with Spain, bag a few more in.
Just keep him ticking over.
We've got a brilliant squad. I mean, it's fingers crossed no one gets bloody injured.
That's the biggie now, isn't it? We're all going to sit here for 2 weeks thinking, you know, watching every match that's going on, seeing what the team sheets are.
Rice and Saka will play every minute for England. We know what's coming. Timber will play for Holland. Calafiori will play for Italy. You know,
90 minutes every game.
Yeah, Saliba will play. Gabriel will play for Brazil. At least it's at home. You could literally at home, isn't it? Because they play at Senegal at the Emirates. So yeah, just hope no one gets any silly knocks because everyone's coming back, and that would be such an Arsenal thing to happen. But obviously, touch wood, it won't. But just get this international break over and done with, and let's crack on again. 3 massive games in a week, but we could have everyone back and fit and come on.
Especially for this, because we know coming back after this 2 weeks, the run of fixtures just gets silly. It's like silly season, you know. There's just back to back every week. It's like it's almost like
Chelsea, Villa.
Yeah, huge. You know, and that squad is going to be so massively utilised, and then to get all of these players back and fully fit just gives us so many options.
And this is the big piece, isn't it? This is what we're talking about. That actually, like at the moment, we're sitting top of the league, and we've been missing quite a lot of big players. And look, any other season it would be quite well documented because actually we wouldn't have the players there and we'd be losing games. But it hasn't really been mentioned that much, has it? Because actually Arsenal have gone on and won games. Do you know what I mean? Like you look from the Newcastle game, everything's a win apart from obviously Saturday's game. And this is the piece for me. Like, it was gutting Saturday. Obviously it's going for everyone. But I think on Saturday was the first time that it was actually like, do you know what? Take your emotional cap off for 1 minute here, because actually, like, we've come up against a good team that's in form, that's exceeding any expectation of them, and we've done that without 6 of our attacking forward players, and we still produced that second half performance. Apart from them conceding that goal, where we could have scored 3 or 4 goals. We hit the crossbar. Do you know what I mean? We had the lob that just went over. Do you know what I mean? The keeper made some saves, and from Calafiori at the end as well.
Which and the Ballard block.
When you look at the depth of that attacking power, and you think, well, we're missing 6 attackers, but we still have Mikel Merino, Saka, and Trossard out there. Okay, I know Merino's not a striker, but he's fulfilled the role. And he's done it to the best of his capability. And I think he's filled it probably better than a lot of ready-made strikers have filled it over the last 6 months, compared to him. But you start thinking that actually when that squad does come back, and you've got a Gyökeres, and you've got an Havertz, and you've got a Madueke who can come on off 60 minutes, you think, do you know what? I'll give Saka a breather now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was probably what these guys, if I'm being totally honest with you, that was what these guys needed this week in Prague. They needed to come off after 60 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And have that rest. But we didn't have the depth like we've got what we're going to have. And I just feel that this whole week in general has been quite a tough week for the team and the set of players that have gone out there. And do you know what? For me, I take my hats off to him, because actually we're sitting 4 points clear of the Premier League. Right? We've faced quite a few injuries over the course of the season so far. We lost Saliba for a little bit of time. We lost a midfielder for? Well, I think we missed someone for midfield for a bit. Odegaard, sorry. We missed our captain for a period of time, and now we've lost our striker. But we're still finding ways to get results. Do you know what I mean? And I just think it all bodes well, like moving forwards. And I look at like we've got the Carabao Cup quarter final to look forward to. And I think at that point, the squad will be really complete in terms of there'll be a lot of competition in terms of playing that game. And I just think the next 4 games, Andy, is absolute massive. Like you look at Chelsea, Tottenham, you look at Tottenham first, you go away to Bayern Munich. Sorry, I'm making some wrong mistakes here. You're home with Bayern Munich, but then you go away to Chelsea. And then you're sandwiched in between Brentford at home and Aston Villa away as well. That's not an easy navigation, is it? By any stretch of imagination, it's going to need to be some big wins there, isn't there?
Yeah, huge. That run of fixtures, will without a shadow of a doubt define your season. I think because in that time, City are playing, Liverpool are playing, or whatever. But it's such a key time for us now because watching City just dismantle let's be honest, a pretty average Liverpool's current side, but City are looking right at it at the moment, and they look really good. And we can't shy away from the fact that they look like a really good side at the moment. So for us to get our players back in this little run of fixtures, and if we can just use a bit of rotation, if we do get the opportunities, it stands us in massive good stead to take us over that Christmas period, and then we start looking towards the end of the season. Then it's huge. And I'm pretty sure Arteta sat there with his staff, looking at it in chunks, looking at games individually, looking at it in chunks like that, and it's just going to be, it's going to be massive. That Villa away game, we have a hit and miss record at Villa Park over the last few years. We have some big wins there, and we have some crap losses as well. So that game's a potential banana skin. But again, I don't fear that now with our fully fit squad, and we're all firing. As you said before, and it's so true, is that we just keep finding ways, and which is incredible. To think that's we've been crying out for this for years, watching all these other teams, watching your Liverpools and your Cities just find ways of winning matches. We've got that now, and and we can look back on the weekend, and yes, we were disappointed, but by the same token, I think last season we might have got beat. So. We might not have escaped with just a draw. So, going into these 4 games or 4 or 5 games back to back is going to be massive. It's really great that we've got this this little buffer in the Champions League, but it's also I think there's that little part of me that just thinks, come on, let's get the 2 teams that are unbeaten, the 2 teams that are at the top. Let's go and batter them, and it sets you up again. Can you imagine what the feel good factor is going to be like with the players then? Going into that run of fixtures, so come off the back of Tottenham and Bayern Munich. Let's think positive. Get them points straight in the bag.
Yeah.
The lift that will give us could be immense.
Talking about international players, Beers going saying City worried about Haaland going on international duty. Like for me, Man City at the moment are our challengers, and rightly so. We can't rule them out because what Pep Guardiola's done over his tenure. Managing Man City, and we know we've been in the wrong end twice in 2 run-ins now. But I do get this feeling like that. I think Donnarumma was a massive signing for them. I think an absolute immense signing for them. I think Rodri, when he gets back, I think will be a key player for them. And this is why you can't rule them out. But I just feel like that if they get that injury to Haaland, I think that could be a game changer.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a big if, though.
Yeah.
Well, someone just needs to boot him.
Does anyone want to boot him?
Well, there is that in there.
Yeah, he almost seems bulletproof at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, the kid's an absolute phenomenon. He's just in a little league of his own at the moment. He's that good, and he is almost unplayable presently. But that said, outside of Haaland, I could almost back individually our strongest 11 against theirs, and that's not just me with rose-tinted glasses. I think man for man, we have the match, if not better than them, throughout the whole of the squad now.
I was thinking about it today, like when we do go to them, I think it'll be a bit like it was last year. I think where we'd absolutely bully them is from kind of things like set pieces, corners, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're still good in the back.
I do think they're a threat. Of course, they're a threat. They're Manchester City, but I think there's something about them that away from home, I don't think he's got the balance right yet. And that was seen against Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
1-0 victory. So I do think they're going to come a cropper of a couple of them games, and the sooner they come a cropper, the better, in my opinion, because actually that'll take a bit of pressure off us. Because actually, like, I look at the next 4 fixtures, like Newcastle away now. Usually, I think, oh, that's a really tricky game for Man City. But the way Newcastle play at the moment, you'd expect Man City to go there, wouldn't you, and take 3 points? But
by the same token, Liam, and obviously I live in the northeast.
Yeah.
They're getting pelters at the moment, Newcastle. So on the back of the fact that everyone's whinging about the 7 points behind Sunderland at the moment, they're all saying that there's a lot of people questioning Eddie Howe at the moment, so there's a bit of unrest. So what a massive game for Newcastle to go out and make a statement victory.
International break might come at a good time for them. So, give them a reset, good rest.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're hoping. But just made me laugh though. He's saying that people were moaning about Eddie Howe. He just won him a trophy, for God's sake.
That's how fickle football is, man.
Well, he got the
Champions
League in 2 times in 3 seasons. But that's how dangerous the game just flips now, don't it? That actually, that no one's safe. And I think there's always been that piece of Eddie Howe that actually Newcastle will want to move to the next stage at some point. And I think there's always going to be a piece where Eddie Howe will go in the end, and then they'll probably get a bigger name in. But the job he's done there, to be fair to him, second to none. Like, to get him 2 Champions League in 3 years and a League Cup trophy, like that was dreams made for them. Because let's be honest, when they were in the era of Steve Bruce and all that, it was an absolute shit show, weren't it?
So, Cassidy show.
Yeah, so I do feel for Eddie Howe a bit, but I think it's going to become a time when actually they're going to want to probably get a bigger name in to manage that team, and we'll see how that one kind of materialises. But I think you're right, Andy. It's a big game for Newcastle as well.
Yeah,
because actually that won't be sitting well that Sunderland are 7 points ahead of them.
7 points. I mean, and it's massive here. I mean, the hatred is no different to Arsenal, Tottenham. The hatred is massive. And Newcastle fans will not accept being 7 points behind the Macans. They just won't. So they're going to be back. They'll be bang up for that City game because there's no better game. They're almost like a to a certain degree to some of the players.
When is that? Is that Saturday evening? That game? When is it? Saturday night?
I don't know. I hope it's the evening.
It's what, Newcastle game?
Yeah. Hopefully
now.
Yeah, I'm just having a look.
Because you don't want to let 12:30 on a Saturday.
No.
There's no atmosphere, and they might not have time to go and have a few pints in the tune.
Call 5:30, mate. That's a big game, isn't it?
Yeah, good on.
That is a big game. Gab's in the house. See, they've got Burnley away that game.
Can you imagine we got Spurs on the Sunday?
Of course, Gab will
get the result
against
City.
Here we go. Then you'll lose to us after Spurs and Bayern.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Good evening to Darius. Good to see you all, mate. Good evening to Anthony, who's on as well. And good evening to Gav. Just having a little scroll down. Obviously, good evening to Catherine, if I didn't say good evening before. Good evening to Jason. Liverpool, Man City yesterday. Let's just quickly discuss that before I move on. Obviously, a comprehensive victory for Man City, 3-0. There was that controversial goal, Andy. What was your thoughts about that? Do you think it was rightly disallowed or wrongly disallowed?
Wrongly disallowed. There's no way in this world Robertson's interfering with Donnarumma. It was a perfectly good header. That said, I actually couldn't give a shit. So I was quite happy with it.
I think it's an interesting one, though, isn't it? Like, actually, I wonder how that game would have materialised at 1-0.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Because it was a total game-changing thing. Now, I look at things like percentages at times. I wanted Man City to win because I know Man City have still got to go back to Liverpool, which I know Man City and Guardiola at this time, touchwood, have not won there.
No, it's always the struggle.
So I think in my mind, that's a part of the reason why I wanted Man City to win yesterday. And I think, look, Liverpool have got a great squad and a very good team. I just think at the moment that the recruitment was a bit gung ho, I'd say, and I think obviously Art Slot's kind of lost the plot a little bit, but you'd be a fool to kind of obviously totally write Liverpool off out of it at the moment. I think another defeat, and then I think it is pretty much curtains for them. But they're going to need to now, aren't they, John? Probably put a run together where they can't even afford to draw games anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the next game is at home to Forest. And, well, that'll be an interesting game. So obviously, Forest won yesterday. Sean Dyche is still getting his team together. And if he's got his defensive mindset back on, they'll go there with nothing to lose. But, I thought that Van Dijk header was harsh. I was more annoyed because I had a 5 of him. I have a shot on target at 9-2. So I was celebrating when he scored. I mean, if that happened to us, we'd be fuming. Yeah. I mean, the second half of those games, 2-0 up, and Neville kept saying, Liverpool score, the atmosphere will change. And but they were just so poor. I mean, I said earlier, Salah, it's just all season this has been terrible. I mean, really, again, he's getting away with it. I mean, if that was Saka doing that week in, week out, he'd be getting ripped apart. But he's just been dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. He's got his new deal. I mean, I don't know how close he was to Jota. I mean, it's going to affect some of them, but he's just been, really, really off it. And they've struggled as of that. Obviously, they spent all that money on Isak, and he's injured and hardly set the world alight. But there's a lot of problems there. I mean, Van Dijk and Konate. I mean, again, one of the best things that happened in the transfer window was definitely Gay staying at Palace because defensively they're just they're not shocking. I mean, I didn't realise until I looked at the table yesterday they're 8th. I know they won the league last year and I know they've done very well on a slot, but if they lost their next few games, which is possible, or drew, I mean, they could be even further adrift. They've got to be careful because, United are doing better than them. Spurs are doing better than them. Chelsea, Villa will overtake them soon. If not, they've got to be careful. It'd be very interesting to see what happens.
That summer recruitment might go down in history. How can you spend like 400 whatever million pound in a summer and make your team worse, like way worse? You win a league, spend all that money, and you're actually poorer for it.
It's like the Nketiah one's the interesting one because there's no way in the world when he signed they would have said, "We're signing you, but just to let you know, we're probably going to sign Isak as well." No way in the world would they have said that to him. Isak one seemed to come out of nowhere, kind of. He's I want to leave. But they've just spent all that money in Nketiah. He's thinking, great. For him to then go, we're signing him now. There's no way. It's a very strange one. You cannot tell me he's happy about that. I mean, he's hardly set the world alight either, to be fair. But it's a Florian Wirtz one. I mean, £150 million, and he hasn't done anything. He just hasn't. Even in some, I know he did all right in the Champions League game against Frankfurt. They got a couple of them assists, I think, but they were like 3-4 up at that point, and Frankfurt had given up. Let's be honest. But I mean, every time I see him, it just you say, he looks like a player, but he just doesn't do anything, honestly. And
I think in some respects, I think Wirtz is probably like Eze for us. There could be an
but the fullbacks they signed as well, Andy. Frimpong and Kirkes. You're never good. We never learned Andy Robertson.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Did you press pause there?
Yeah, he got too angry, didn't he?
Didn't he?
Look at him, he looks like he's about to explode there.
Is he all right, John? Or is he just thinking? Oh, he's gone. Thank God for that.
Obviously, Gav asking the question, who would you rather be your challengers, Liverpool or City?
Who would I rather right now? Liverpool. I'd rather Liverpool be challenging us because I think City have got way more about them this season. Oh God, he is back.
I've got clothes on still.
I think,
I'd rather Spurs be our challenges because now I know we'll definitely beat them.
I think my personal opinion is that obviously I'd rather be Liverpool. If you said to me yesterday, I'd rather Man City won the game because I'm just looking at a lot of different things at the moment. I'm just not brought with Man City at the moment that defensively they're that solid away from home. Do you know what I mean? I think that they'll struggle in some away games. And I just think that actually the more Liverpool can lose now is the better. But I think, as I said, another defeat for Liverpool over the next 4 to 5 games, and I think it's pretty much they're asking a lot. And this is the piece that I said actually, players like Salah and Van Dijk, you can bet your bottom dollar they'll be looking at that Champions League and thinking, do you know what, I won that under my belt one last time. And I think the full focus will go onto the Champions League for them players. And I don't think there's much Slot can do about it, if I'm being totally honest. And look, there's been issues at Liverpool before. We see it in the last year of Klopp with Salah. He fell out of him, didn't he? So how great Salah a player is, I think he can be a little bit of an issue in that dressing room at times as well. And I just think that these players, they'll decide at some point, especially if they lose another game, do you know what? We're going to go all out for the Champions League. We need to keep ourselves fit for that. Because actually, I want that one last time. Because you've got to look, ain't it? Look, people like Van Dijk and Salah, they're not going to have many more opportunities to win that.
No, not with their ages now. No, there's also, I mean, for me, there's a body language issue with Salah at the moment. Anyway, he just doesn't look happy at all. And I know they're playing crap, and he's playing crap, but there's just his body language is the poorest I've seen it in ever, I think. So that doesn't bode well for them. And but yeah, absolutely, him and there's not. Yeah, there's him. There's Robertson, another aging player. It could be their last hurrah in the Champions League. Yeah.
They're saying Liverpool are out of it. It's a tools race, and if Haaland gets injured, it's over. I think I can't disagree with that. I think if Haaland gets injured, then they'll have to go and buy someone in January. They will definitely have to go and buy someone. Like I was talking to someone the other day, right? And if I was just take for example, Andy, that Haaland got an injury. If I was someone like Guardiola, I'd look at someone like Ollie Watkins. Do you know what I mean? Like. They're going to need. If something did happen to him, they'll need a stopgap, wouldn't they? Like because
they will, or they might Ivan Toney or someone like that sort of player.
Yeah, because this is the piece, isn't it, with Haaland? And it was a bit like when we had Van Persie at Arsenal. No one wants to come and play for Arsenal up front because they know they're not going to get in front of Robin Van Persie. Same thing is at Man City, isn't it? Let's be honest. That actually, if you're a striker, why are you going to go to Man City? All you're going to do is sit on the bench.
No, absolutely. When you've got the best in the world in front of you, who show no signs of letting up, why would you? Why would you go there? Why would you want to go there and play second fiddle to that? Because you're never going to play. But if he gets an injury, because it can happen, it can so happen. I mean, he's such an absolute specimen of with his physique and the way that he kind of plays. One daft pull of his hamstring, and that could be a season effectively over because it could end up missing 2-3 months. And that in itself could give us the opportunity to go on and hopefully win the league at a canter. But by the same token, it's all about us, because if we didn't go on and win the league when Haaland was injured, we'd forever. Well, we'd be forever scratching our heads as to how we didn't do it this time around.
Yeah, no, definitely. Catherine's saying City have Marmoush. I think he's a good player, Marmoush. I don't think he has really stepped in for Haaland, no, if I'm being frankly honest. I think he certainly don't know how to take a penalty, as the old FA Cup final showed. But he's a good player. I ain't brought that he's like a proper central striker for them. I do think that if they lose Haaland, they would need to go out there and buy someone.
Without doubt. I mean, it's different, isn't it? Like if Haaland played for us, all right, he might have scored for what the goals are shared around was what I'm trying to get at about with us. At City, it's not. It's just they showed the stats, isn't it? It's like he's got 11. Oh, he had 11 before the game, and then the next one was on 2, and then whereas there's more. If you look at any other of the top sides, there's more of a spread of goals. City at the moment, it's so one way when it comes to them at the moment. So if you took him out and Mamouche can come in, and yes, he is a really good player, he's never going to be a patch on a Haaland. So yeah.
It's them big moments, isn't it? Like that goal yesterday, he scored the first goal. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, let's be honest, it's just a world class header, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, and this is what Haaland's got. He's got that moment in him that actually that if you take that out of that team, it takes so much out of that team, and they're so reliant on him in terms of playing into him the way they do. And you bring Mamouche in, it's a totally different kind of player, isn't it? Then you're basically changing the way you play and everything. So. I think like you said, Andy, is a big if. Do you know what I mean? Like I think if Haaland stays fit, then I think they've got a good chance of competing for the title right to the end. I do think if they lose him, I do agree with what Des said. I think it pretty much stumbled them too much because this league, you look at every single game and you think every single game is a hard game, isn't it? Like I was sitting there thinking the other day, like even when you think you're going away to Nottingham Forest, you're going away to Leeds. They're all stadiums that are very passionate stadiums. Do you know what I mean? That'll being up for beating you. Do you know what I mean? So when you're a top club, the dangle there for the smaller clubs to kind of to turn you over is much bigger, isn't it? And I just think that there's so many hard grounds to go to this year. I think it's a really, really tough season. And it's really all about who can stay strongest. And that's the thing. Like, if we dropped a 2-2 draw with Sunderland at home, then I'd have been absolutely fuming. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But because it's away from home, I look at it and I think, well, that's 1 point on the road. Do you know what I mean? You're going to drop points away from home at certain parts of the season. But actually, our away form was pretty good overall. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know the Liverpool game was a bit of a mishap, but apart from that,
season, chalk and cheese.
Yeah, I think. As long as you're picking up your away points, I do think Liverpool and Man City will still stumble away to some certain teams.
Let's hope so. Liverpool got Sunderland at home coming up as well, and they got Leeds away. Liverpool got some really tough games coming up.
Gav's asking the question: when Havertz returns, does he take Gorka starting place? Don't think so, personally myself. And what about Jesus? I think Havertz has got my personal opinion, he's got a role to play in different positions. I think Jesus. See how he comes back, and now he's integrated back into the team. But I think he'll be a terrific impact player off the bench, Andy.
Unbelievable, honestly. As much as it's great getting all these players back, I love Jesus. I've always loved him since he's come to us. All right, we all know now he's never going to score us 20 goals a season. But what he can offer you in relation to his work ethic, his one-on-one ability is as good as anybody in the world at the moment. Going past people one-on-one, Jesus is unreal, and he's a big game player. You know, he's not fazed by big occasions, and he just might be, if he hasn't lost too much of his sharpness, it might just be a little secret weapon just to chuck in the mix for us to use. You know, when the going gets tough in some of them really hard games, when it's just them, we're just looking for that little something different. Jesus could be the little spicy ingredient we can chuck in the mix.
What's your thoughts, John? Because it's quite interesting. There's a lot of people
trying to get better bloody internet connection. There we go.
There's a lot of people out there, isn't there, with Jesus that say actually we need to buy someone better, but who else are we really going to go out and buy better in January than bring Gabriel Jesus back into the side?
No, definitely not. And again, I think he's a very popular player. He knows the Premier League. He knows what it's like to win the Premier League. I think that experience, again, could be key. You know, that's one of the reasons that, we got him for Man City, because he's a big game player and he's a winner. And yeah, he was so unlucky last year. I mean, that injury, he's got a hat-trick against Palace, a couple more goals in the game after. And we really thought, here we go. This is it. This is the Jesus we wanted. And yeah, so unlucky. That must have been such a kick in the teeth for him personally. He must have thought, here we go. Now Arsenal fans are going to see the real me. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll come back. And but you just hope he'll come back and reproduce. he's a great player. So skillful. Again, a big game. He was in the Champions League against Munich. That lovely run, and
his dribbling at times is outstanding.
Yeah, he's a wonderful player. So yes, I mean, more than merry. I think he'll play again as another valuable squad player. I mean, Andy said all the big games coming up.
Oh, we lost him again.
Do you know what? I think his missus is in the other room pressing pause.
Yeah, either that or in his new internet provider.
yeah. We'll find out. We'll see.
One question of Andy, pretty good one as well. The only player for us that would be have the same effect would probably be Declan Rice. It'd be tragic if we lost him for a certain period, wouldn't it?
Oh, he's been immense, hasn't he? He's been absolutely incredible. Talk about players who just you can just see it in their demeanour that this means everything to them, and he's gonna pull up trees to make sure he wins trophies, and he's just kind of leading from, as much as he's not the skipper, he plays as a captain, and leading by example across the pitch. What an absolutely phenomenal footballer.
So
I think Alexa's talking to you, mate. She said about internet problems.
Oh, it's a bloody nightmare. Honestly, I moved in the living room and I don't know what's going on. He was playing ball for 50 minutes.
She's telling you from my device that you internet issues.
Yeah, tell me about it, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that, Andy. We're going to go into the last part of the show tonight, where obviously I'm going to do a bit of a best 11 so far this season, just to kind of mix it up. Obviously, we're just going to agree position by position. So it looks like it'll just be me and you at the moment, Andy, but he's gone again.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. Who would you say has been the best goalkeeper so far?
David Raya. I'll be honest. There's nobody at the moment that can touch his levels of consistency, and from what he does for us, at the moment he's first class. You?
Yeah, I think he needs to. He has to be number one at the moment, considering what he hasn't conceded. I think, as I said, I think Donnarumma was a great signing for Man City as well, and I think you're seeing So I think he'd probably be my second. I don't think he's a close second at the moment, but he would be my second. So I think I'd have to agree with you on that. David Raya in goal.
Yeah, agreed.
I might get a bit of a biased 11 here.
Because
right back for me, I don't think there's any.
No, there's only one.
Then Timber.
It's not even open for debate. He's just been immense.
I think just a bit of recognition out there in terms of right backs. I think that the kid at Palace I like, Munoz.
Oh yeah, he's very good. Yeah,
even yesterday,
energy about him.
He's just an absolute massive threat. Going down there, I really like him, and I think he's someone who I think has really settled well into the Premier League. But we'll put Timber on the right. Left back.
Oh, it's an interesting one, because again, it's just rose tinted, isn't it? But Calafiori's been brilliant for me this season. Going forward, coming back, causing mayhem. He's just organised chaos, but he's a beautiful chaos for us.
Do you know someone who's impressed me? The kid at Man City, O'Reilly.
Yeah, he looks a decent player, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got the right temperament about him.
I think he's going to be a really good player, and I do like like his temperament. I think he's got a really, really good temperament, and I think he's going to achieve some good stuff in his career. But yeah, I think at the moment we're going to go for the Arsenal back four, won't we? Really, if we're being totally honest.
Yeah.
Gabriel and Saliba have obviously been absolute colossal.
I tell you, who's been good this season, Liam. Though, just because I feel like I should talk about another team. De Ligt, I've quite liked De Ligt at Man U. I think he's done really well this season.
Yeah.
So just so that people don't think I'm just totally biased, I'm going to chuck De Ligt into the mix. Mark Gay's been superb at Palace. So there's another one.
Van der Ven scored the goals, isn't he?
Oh, he's having an exceptional season. Yeah, yeah. As
Um,
horrible as
Gav's
it is
telling me
to
not to
say
be
that.
biased. I'm sure I've just mentioned Donnarumma, O'Reilly, and Munoz, mate.
Exactly.
But I do agree that, do you know what? I really like De Ligt. When I see him last year against us, I really like him. He is a top quality player. Like, to be fair, no disrespect to Man United, but he should be at a club that's winning, competing to win stuff.
Yeah, at the moment, definitely. Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he's playing that well, and I think if he gets a good, solid, regular partner at Man United, it'll be good for them.
Defensive midfield is an interesting one. I think there's two.
Caicedo's been brilliant.
I think he does pip Zubimendi, who I think's been brilliant as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
I think Caicedo is an absolute incredible talent.
Yeah,
and he's only going to get better and better, isn't he?
He's great. Yeah, I also think that Bruno's had a decent season up at Newcastle, despite what they're doing, because it's everybody else around him, I think, that's struggling. But up here, he's a bit of a god, to be honest. But Bruno's doing all right.
So we've got Caicedo.
Yeah.
Who are we going for the other midfielder next to Caicedo?
Declan Rice. You cannot have, if you're going to pick Caicedo, you have to have Declan Rice somewhere in your midfield, in your centre. He's just unbelievable. He's took his game to another level. Again, this season, he's just kicked on even further. So, Declan Rice, unplayable at the moment.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think they're the two best centre midfielders in the Premier League. By a country file. I just think with Declan Rice, like, I might be biased here, and I apologise, Gav, but I think he's the best centre midfielder in the world at this moment in time.
Couldn't follow me.
It's not even his free kicks against Real Madrid; it's his performance away in the Bernabeu that wowed me. No, you don't do that at Real Madrid. You know what I mean? You don't go and do that at Real Madrid. Like, you've got to have something right about you to be able to do the performance that he did at Real Madrid. But he just backs it up every single week. It doesn't matter if you're playing Burnley away, as you see what he was like at Burnley, or whether you've got like Manchester City at home. Declan Rice is that player, isn't he? And leadership. Just leads by example on that pitch all the time. And
it's just, when we signed him, we knew we were signing a brilliant player. We all thought, 100 million, just get it spent because he's going to be really good. I don't think any of us have foreseen that he was going to be at this level now. And his importance to us is, his set pieces, his corners, his free kicks that he'll whip into the box. He hits the areas time and time again. He's controlling midfields. He, as I said before, he's not actually our captain physically wearing the armband, but he plays as a skipper. And he's arguably at the moment the best player for England as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So your third centre midfielder. Probably your attacking centre midfielder.
What's that, sorry?
Who would be your third centre midfielder, your attacking centre
Like an attacking midfielder, that's a good question. You tell me yours while I have a little think.
Do you know what? I just think the way the game's going, Andy, and it's being demanded by things like long throw and set pieces, I think we're losing a bit of our talent in terms of our attacking centre midfielders, isn't we? I think they're kind of getting bypassed a little bit, and I don't think really anyone's really standing out at the moment.
Szoboszlai's doing well.
Who?
Szoboszlai, would he be an attacking midfielder?
Yeah, but I do like him.
He's probably been, him and Gravenberch have been their two best players, I think, this season. They're two not bad midfielders, attacking wise.
I think Bruno Fernandes at times has good games, but then I think he goes missing in games, so probably wouldn't go him.
Same as Cunha.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I would like Gav. To be fair, if Palmer was fit, I think there'd be a massive contention of him being in that team.
Yeah,
being totally honest. I just think where he's not fit, you can't really discuss him at the moment.
No. Morgan Rogers has picked up over the last few games, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a good player. He is a good player. Just having a look, mate. I just think it's really hard to kind of really nail down exactly.
I know
who that attacking centre midfielder is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tough on that one.
Yeah,
Tough one. We'll leave that open to anybody listening.
yeah, we'll leave that. So, guys, if you've got someone, please choose it.
Chuck him in the lineup.
Right wing.
Right wing. I mean, I'm going to be biased. He's not full pelt at the moment, but I'd have Saka all day over anybody else that's been playing in the Premier League this season, I think. You?
I think the one person who's impressing me at the moment in an attacking forward role is the one from Brentford who went to Manchester United.
Oh, and Mbeumo.
Yep.
Yeah, he's playing ever so well. Yeah, ever so well. But I'd have Saka over him every day of the week.
Yeah, I would. I naturally would all day long. I'm just thinking, who's had more impact so far. But
yeah. But yeah, do you know what? Outside of them two at the moment, when you look around, no, I'm not sure there's that many more that can get close to them two at the moment.
On the left wing?
Left wing. I mean, our little magician Trossard had a hell of a season.
Yeah.
I
think you've got to go to Bournemouth, lad.
Semenyo.
Yeah.
Yes. What a player, yeah. Some player, that kid. Yeah. I'm just looking at the league table there. There's nobody from anywhere else that I would think left side. Nah. Semenyo.
You could potentially play Semenyo in the attacking midfield role, and you could put Trossard on the left if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, we've got to slip that Gooner in there somewhere, haven't we? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect way.
I'm just trying to think who else, like from an attacking midfield role at the moment, is really cutting the mustard for me. I just think that at the moment it's a bit of a. I'm looking at the league table myself, and I'm just thinking it is a pretty tricky position, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. My best mate's a Man United fan, and he loves what Cunha's been doing for them. I think he's been a bit hit and miss, a bit erratic, but he said he's just been brilliant. And what he's noticed is the work rate as well, which I think goes unnoticed a little bit. But arguably, maybe Cunha's been pretty decent as well. He might get on the bench for us.
Yeah, do you know what I do? I do like him. I think there's a behavioural concern with him at times.
Yes, I think that's always going to be the baggage that comes with him, isn't it?
Bit like your Cantona, obviously, but not your Cantona.
Maybe he's not quite as kung fu mad, but yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Noni would, Andy saying Noni, before we got injured, he would be massively up there, to be fair.
Do you know what? Absolutely. We forget how good Noni was for us in that little short space of time when he was fully fit. My God, he was unbelievable.
Now, before we go into the forwards, I've got an interest. So I guess we'll sort out the left and central in one sec. I know Haaland's going to get it, but
yeah,
I think there needs to be a couple of decent shout-outs. Danny Welbeck, what a season he's had, by the way.
He's been superb, hasn't he? He's got a new lease of life. But he's one of those, Danny Welbeck, that it just doesn't seem to age in the way that he plays. He doesn't seem to have lost his pace that much. And in fact, in some respects, he's getting better as he's getting older because his touch is even better now. And he's backing it up with goals as well, consistently scoring goals. I think that was always something that was a frustration at times. It wasn't consistent enough. Whereas he seems to be kind of more at it since he's been to Brighton in particular. I think he's revelled in the fact he's gone to a club and he's almost like the top man. Whereas if he went when he was at United or he came to us, you're not that. Whereas sometimes he's gone into a smaller club and he's reveling in that older pro, I'm the top boy sort of role a little bit.
I always liked him. I always really liked him. I thought he was good on his
work rate. His work rate was just phenomenal. But another one to chuck in the mix for up top, and I love the guy honestly, is Mateta at Palace.
Yeah.
He's just because when he first went to Palace, honestly, he couldn't hit a bandor with a banjo. He was murder. But as his time's progressed over there, and he's become the focal point up top, he's just become an all-round bit of a beast, to be honest. I mean, he's a hard block to pin down because he's so big. He appears to have a really good touch, and he can finish. Both feet in the air. He's a handful.
Two other players that I've just thought about that we haven't spoke about.
Oh, yeah.
At Palace again.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to include him, but I watched Kid Walton yesterday. I think he's got a big future.
He's
Absolutely.
quality, yeah.
Sarr, I think, has had a massive impact again this season. I think what an actual signing he was, to be fair, because I think they only picked him up for like something like 15, 20 million, I want to say. I think that was an absolute pickup, that was Sarr for Palace, and like he's had some big moments, hasn't he?
He's and his pace is electric, absolutely electric. But yeah, he's coming up with some big goals for them. But yeah, he's pretty decent. I think one player actually I forgot to mention in the midfield roles is, as much as I begrudge to say it because it's a City player, but Phil Foden's having a really good season. He seems to be back to somewhere near his best now.
I was gonna say as well. I've just gone totally from my head now. Jack Grealish. I thought he was doing well. I think he's fizzled out a little bit, hasn't he, in the last few games?
I think Everton have fizzled out a little bit, but yeah, definitely, it's almost like it's giving him a new lease of life. He's gone there to that new stadium. They love him, and it's good to see him do well because I've kind of got a soft spot for Grealish. You know, I love the way he comes across in his interviews. He's really down to earth, and it's good to see players like him go on and do quite well.
Catherine saying Igor Thiago, he's been very, very good, hasn't he?
Yeah, superb.
What a signing that's been, to be fair, and what a job Andrews is doing, because I think a lot of people had Keith Andrews as being a manager who could be the one that impact. Andrew saying Doku actually was best game I see yesterday. I think Semenyo has to go in.
Yeah. Doku was. I mean, yesterday he was unplayable.
Yeah.
You just get them games. He's got that electric pace and just wizardry about his feet. He is one of those players for me that I sometimes think when he's got time to think about what he needs to do, he struggles a bit. But when he plays off instinct, it has to be quick and it can be mesmeric. So, yeah, quite a quality player.
Fully agreed. So we're going to go Haaland up front. We've spoken about Haaland's status, like absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So what are we agreeing with the left wing?
I'm going Doku.
You're going Doku, yeah?
Yeah, it's a good shout.
And you're attacking centre midfielder?
Phil Foden.
Do you think Phil Foden's got the ability to be able to do it the whole season? I know he's done it before, but I think that back in that team.
Yeah, I think that last season was a real disappointment for him because he was so poor. But he just seems to have come back like born again, and he you can't deny the fact that he looks outstanding again at the moment. Some of the stuff he was doing yesterday, and that, it's such a big fixture as well in horrendous conditions. His touch and his awareness, it was good. Whether he can do that again over now till the end of the season, who knows? Whether he stays fit or not, or what. But from an England perspective, I suppose it's good to see that he's back at it again.
So that's our 10 guys. We've got Dave Rare in goal, Timber right back, Calafiori left back, Saliba, Gabriel centre backs, Casado in the pivot role, Declan Rice, Phil Foden. Who did we go on the right in the end?
Did we agree on the right one in the end, though?
I don't think we agreed on the right one in the end. We've got Haaland and we've got Doku. I just don't think Saka's played enough games personally for me.
No, maybe not.
I think I'll go for the Manchester United lad at the moment.
Yeah, go Mbeumo.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
He's made some really good impact.
Oh, he's been good. He's been very good, yeah.
So there you go, Gav. I don't think it was as biased as you thought it would be, mate. In terms of favourite goal, Andy, any goal that you can think of, remember that you think, yeah.
For us?
Yeah.
For us this season?
Oh, I'm left on my own now. Last man standing, it seems.
I gone. What happened there? Take us off. That's a good question for us.
I'm going Gabriel against Newcastle just because of the moment it was.
Just the sheer drama of it.
Yep.
I think I loved it when Gyökeres got his first goal, even though it was a pen. It was the pen, yeah. I think it's difficult to say anything other than Trossard's at the weekend, because it just in that moment it was just massive. And what a goal out of nothing! It was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for this evening. Thank you very much, Andy.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's been an interesting night with John hopping on and off.
Do you know what I mean? Some of us are part-time, some of us are full-time.
Exactly, yeah. Don't forget that with his wages and stuff.
No,
yeah.
I won't, mate. It's getting docked. It's getting docked. Obviously, thank you very much for everyone in chat. Obviously, nice to have you on again, as always.
Yes, thank you, everyone.
Some good information in terms of, obviously, content, which we will thank you very much. Next week, obviously, it's an international week, but we will be back with a show. It is the big one we're leading up to, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspurs at the Emirates. It's Sunday week.
Oh, I'm not here.
Oh, you're not here next week, are you?
I'm not here next Monday. I'm in Oslo.
Oh, you lucky man.
Yeah.
Are you trying to find Harden to injure him?
Basically, yeah. I'm gonna hunt him down. I've been sent on a secret mission.
Oh, well, mate, I'm with you for that one, mate. I'm more than happy for you to miss the show for that. Agent Andy.
Absolutely. I'll be on it.
But yeah, we will have a show next Monday night, guys. Obviously at 8:30 p.m. we will be doing a big build-up for the Arsenal-Tottenham game. That's obviously on Sunday week, so we look forward to that. Hopefully John will be back again and he puts a few more coins in his meter so he can stay on for the whole show.
He's a tight sod.
Exactly.
All them postmen are the same.
Oh, mate, you should see him at the bar. But yeah, we will be back next week, guys. Until then, have a good week, have a good weekend, and we'll see you all next week. Good night.
All right, take care.